Our contributions in education will be our legacy in this industry.
Whether it's through live education or maybe through social media, we're always trying to make a personal connection with you, the learner.
At Samvia, we believe our smile is our business card, and our personality is our logo. And how we make people feel after you experience our education and tools is our trademark.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us, my friends, and be a part of the Samvia community. Hi, my friends. We are on our last segment of these 2 days. The show must go on. I sincerely hope that everyone out there has enjoyed what we've tried to put out there and deliver, which is basically just share information, keep it really uplifted, and really give you salonable information that you can use back behind the chair. So we really want to thank you so much there's been so many people that have been in every segment. That's 2 long days of education. And some have been dropping on, dropping off, that kind of thing. So we just appreciate you being here with whatever segment you chose to join, and the amount of time you had, know that we appreciate it. Everything will be later on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. So if you missed anything, make sure you go back. You know, my friends, I really believe that a successful salon is made up not a group of individuals, but a team of individuals. When we started this brand, that was what we wanted to do, was build a team that really wanted to focus on education with intent and purpose. And there was someone that I really adore that came up to me one day and said, I really can help you. And this woman was really special to us in terms of what she offered to us and what she shared with us, her talents, her skill sets, her voice, her attitude, her personality. She helped us out in so many ways. And I want to give this woman an opportunity, because this is an opportunity for us to show gratitude. And we want to show this lady gratitude because she was the vision, created the vision of what you see in a lot of our photo work. So please put your hands together and please welcome the adorable, the awesome, the creative Geneva Cowan. Hi, Geneva.
Hi, guys. How are you?
We're good, my dear. The question is, how are you?
I'm amazing.
Amazing.
My hair's growing back.
Yes, your hair is growing back, my dear. And I just love it short like that. You might want to keep it that way.
I might.
Well, listen, Geneva, as I said, this is an opportunity for us to show gratitude towards you, because back in the beginning, I remember that day when you came up to me at America's Beauty Show and you said, Sam, you know what? I think I can really help you. And I said, Geneva, how? She goes, I can help you with your photo work. You really need help. And you know what? That's what I love about Geneva. She was honest. And yes, at that moment, we embraced her. That's the thing, guys, is there's so much to learn from everybody. So Geneva, we really sincerely want to thank you, my dear, for really helping us out, myself and Andrew and the team, really giving us this vision of being able to train our eyes to see things differently, being able to teach our hands to do things in a different way when it came to that whole idea of editorial work. So just wanted to say thanks, my dear, to you, and know that we love you. So just tell me a little bit, what's going on? How are you doing?
Well, I think, that conversation could have went a couple different ways, Sammy. So credit to you.
It went the right way. It went the right way.
Going in a direction that allowed that creative process to happen. So I think one of the beautiful things about working with Samvia and Andrew is that we were a team. And I think editorial is one of those processes that really can't happen with just one person. It takes a complete team of people. The vision, the thoughts, the voice of it, who's doing the makeup, what is the sound of it, what is the process, and what are we trying to tell our audience about the image. So I think with that, we had a lot of learning experiences, I think you could say, and some were beautiful and some were not beautiful. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about the creative process is having that space to do things, learn from them, be able to look at it with an edited eye and say, you know, this worked, and why did it work? And this didn't, even though it took us a lot of time and a lot of effort, and then go back and try again. So I think the biggest thing I would say when we're working in an editorial and building images is what you are able to create for us, Sam, is build a team and allow that team to do their job. And that was one of the beautiful things about working with Andrew, Stefan Legros, Kevin Lewis, Mary Urban, Pascal and Jeremy, this great team that we were able to build. Our photographer, Shayla Matthew, is that we had this team that everybody had a voice, everybody's voice was respected, and we would tackle one vision at a time. And it was a beautiful process. And I think that's the way that those work the best. How about you, Andrew? Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of said it perfectly, because in that situation, every single person had their role, and those people were put in that role because they were great at that thing. And it was interesting because I think that a lot of times in debriefs, that was kind of what we would come back to too, was when things weren't working is when we were trying to kind of step over top of those things. It's like, okay, this is your thing. Like, you're fantastic at this. Like, good. And I think when things would get complicated, you know, we would have that conversation. If we had 7 or 8 people in the shooting area, all trying to tell Shaylin, like, well, I think this and I think that, that's when chaos would start to happen. But when it was like, you know, you were definitely that visionary with Shaylin for the photo. And even Sam himself would sometimes be like, you know what, I'm complicating things. I'm actually going to step off because you guys got this. I can see that you got this, and I'm probably just throwing in too much. So it was great to see how when you build a team of people that, number one, have unique strengths, but number two, respect the fact that I can not have my hands in every piece of this process, that's when things really seem to work super, super well.
I think the biggest thing as well, excuse me, is that we did some things that didn't have great feedback in the beginning. You know, when we first came out with, for instance, suicide bands or these really short fringe, it was very graphic short fringe that I was obsessed with, Andrew was obsessed with. And we did it a little too early for mainstream, and the backlash was quite aggressive for it. And we sat in that and thought, you know what? We believe in this look, and it's okay. If they don't get it right now, then they're going to get it in a little bit. And it did. It became mainstream. And it's also just about celebrating your own process and believing in what you're doing and sitting in that. And if you're going to be innovative, not everybody's going to like what you're doing at all times. And you're going to have to be okay with that. And that's the beautiful part of the journey, is just finding the people that get you and that you can ride that journey with. So,
words of wisdom, my friends, from Geneva Cowan. And there's one thing that she taught us. I remember, Geneva, you'd say, all right, guys, you go like this. Guys, huddle up, huddle up, huddle up. Remember that? You know, huddle up. And then we'd have our conversations. And there was always some key people that were involved in that huddle. And that was all that was allowed in that huddle. And I remember that. Then I remember you always had a plan. That was, you know, you always had a storyboard. We always had that true storyboard. And that was true in terms of the plan. And then the skills. I can't tell you folks out there how much I've learned from Geneva Cowan, you know, during that whole process of doing those editorials. There was learning going on constantly. So once again, Geneva, from us to you, we thank you, we love you, and we want you to stay healthy, my dear, because this industry needs you. We need you. All right? So thanks for joining us, love.
Love you, G.
Love you, G. Bye-bye. Guys, Geneva Cowan, just a great talent. She was a Reiki artist at one time. She's at home. She's gone through cancer. She's staying healthy, and she's doing well. So we continue to put thoughts and prayers out there for the beautiful Geneva Cowan. All right, let's go.
Well, as soon as he wanted to cut some hair. Oh my gosh, what an adventure this weekend, huh? Tons of technical challenges and all kinds of wonderful things. So hopefully Sammy will just get his Wi-Fi back in order. At least we got to talk to Geneva, right? And I guess if he doesn't come back on, I'll maybe do a haircut for you instead. I'll cut a razor bob for you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so technical challenges. Geneva actually, while he's figuring that out, I will tell you a quick story. Geneva, one of her other talents is connecting people. So Geneva was actually the person that connected me to the company. When I first met Geneva, she had hired my wife, Michelle, who some of you met earlier, to do some wardrobe for one of the Zambia photo shoots. And after they became kind of friends, we started to talk too. I started to talk to Geneva. We talked about history, and I used to be an educator for Paul Mitchell Schools. I used to be an educator for TG. And she said, hey, you should meet Sam because he is building his own team. As you guys know, he's been with Redken for a long time, but just over 10 years ago, he started his own company. And she said, you should meet Sam because he's starting to create his own artistic team, and he wants people from outside of Redken so that he has diversity within his team. So they invited me to a photo shoot in New York. And I get to New York and I was super nervous, of course. Who wouldn't be? You're about to jump into this photo shoot with Sam Villa and his team. So I get there and he actually wasn't able to make it in the first night. So I was kind of like, whew, okay. But then he comes in the next day and I was super nervous. But eventually, he came in and he just gave me the biggest bear hug and just, he was so kind and so sweet. So the nerves kind of faded away. We got to work together for 3 days, and actually a bunch of us got stuck in New York on that trip because of snowstorms and all kinds of crazy stuff. And by the end of the trip, he was like, hey, what do you think? And I was like, I would love to do some work with you guys. So Chicago ABS, kind of funny enough, but Chicago ABS 6 years ago was my first event, kind of as a Zambia ArTeam member, and jumped on stage, and everything has happened ever since. So yeah, cool experience, and it's all because of Geneva. She was the one that connected us all. Hey, look at this guy. I just told him the story of how Geneva connected us and how we had our photo shoot in New York and everything while you're getting all that figured out.
Well, thank you, Andrew. And guys, I'm sorry about that. I hope everything's up right. Looks like I've lost maybe one like, but guys, I want to go on. Is that okay with you? Just give me a thumbs up. Give me a yes. You got it, buddy. Coming at you. All right. So let's get into a haircut and let's talk about razoring a bob. So here's what I have here, guys. This bob here, this is a 1-length bob. All right. So I just want to show it to you, but I haven't done anything to it, keeping it 1 length. Look at this. Okay. So let's say a client walks in with 1-length bob and they say, I'm interested in layering this, but I want to maintain some length, but I want to layer this 1 length out. All right. So here's a great way to work with the razor. And I want you to stay with me. As I said, I don't know about you, but I'll find a lot of ways in which to cut, working with tools, but I want to work with effective ways, not ways that are gimmicks. So let's turn around this way and let's look at the sketch. And here's what I've done. I've actually broken this down in my sectioning into front to back. So the front to the back. And then I just took it right down center. That gave me actually 4 quadrants. Then what I did was in the back area, we simply went through and we just found that halfway point. So if I do this and put 2 things together, 2 combs together, that's going to be what we refer to maybe as the right corner back and that left corner back. So that gave me 4 areas in the back and 2 areas in the front. So I pre-sectioned this. Let's talk about how I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to give you the visual of how I'm going to cut it. So that sets your eyes up to see, watch the mechanics of what I'm doing. And please understand, this is not how I was taught to cut. Just as the seasons change as hairdressers, we need to adjust and we need to change. So let's talk about that for a moment. All right, so look at what I'm going to do. I'm going to start on this right back area. If I was left-handed, I'd start on this area. I want you to note the arrows in the direction they're pointed, and I'll give you the why behind that. Let's take this first section. So can you imagine if I'm standing on the opposite side of that, I'm lifting this section up. the razor is going to go in from short to long. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the clip pointed that direction. Then I'm going to take my next section, take the short piece that I started as a guide, come over to this side, just eyeball that and go short to long the opposite way. So what I want to do is I want to create something that's a little bit different in terms of the layering so that we automatically create the texture at the same time. And that's what makes this very interesting. So let's take a look at this, okay? That's going to go that direction. The next section will go that direction. Then the next section will go that direction. And then the next section will go the opposite direction. So that's what I want to do in terms of when I layer this. And the way that I'm going to elevate this is I'm going to elevate this vertically up 90 degrees, all right? So now I'm right-handed. So let's take a look at this, all right? Being right-handed, I'm going to start in that right area right behind the ear. So this is where I'm going to start. So I'm going to take this first section that I see right here, okay? That's what I'm going to take. So I'm going to lift this. Now I'm going to go section by section. Pay attention to how I'm using this clip, which will remind you of which direction I've cut. Now, the past is where we learn, and the future is where we apply it. So this reminds me of when I attended an event in London called the Salon International. And I actually went there with some friends. Let's see, it was Chris Barron, Coach Chris Barron, and Benny Tognini from Australia. And we took a bunch of mannequins with us. So we would go to the class during the day. We would come back to the apartment that we rented in London. We'd take out some mannequins and just start playing with what we discovered. And we saw a team do this, but they took it really cropped. And we thought, how can we make that a little bit more salonable? Well, this is how we're going to do that. So watch what I'm going to do. And this was called the shift. Hey, Coach Chris Barron, if you're out there, just give me a yes. Do you remember this? The shift. That's right. So we're going to work it with a razor. So I'm going to elevate vertically. Look how I'm taking that center, right in that center of the apex of that the top. I'm lifting that up straight up, all right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and position the razor. Now, Jesse talked about this weekend. The angle of the razor is critical, as well as Andrew has. Jesse was talking about 30 to 45. Make sure you're not going in perpendicular to the hair. You're going to rough that cuticle up. Make sure you're not too flat. You're going to really go through and create it really thin at the ends, and then when they brush, it has a tendency to break. Now, I'm not going to claim to be an expert at the razor, guys, but I will tell you, if you can ever check out a man by the name of Nick Arrojo and Rodney Cutler, those guys are masters with the razor, with that cutthroat razor, as well as Coach Chris Barron and Ruth Roach. They're awesome. All right, here we go. Let's get started. So I'm going to go to my desired length. So that's going to be my desired length. Look at my point of entry, where it's at. That's going to be that degree of shortness. Now watch me just keep that angle, and I'm just going to roll up to that angle, up to that working short to long. Notice how I'll make a fist. What that's doing is that's allowing me to maintain the tension I have in my air pocket. So when I make a fist, then when I do this, look how tight that gets there. So because sometimes what happens is the razor tends to push the hair. So let's take a look at the angle we got. We went from short to long. Now watch the clip. I'm going to take my clip, and I went from short to long this direction. Look at the point. So I point the clip that direction. And now we're going to take our next horizontal section. How thick are these sections, Sam? Once again, you're going to base that on density. Then once again, we work a lot with a pencil technique when we're working with our razor. So I'm going to go through just like I'm holding with a pencil. Why? Because now I'm working from left to right. So now where do you get your guide, Sam? I started short over here. So just pinch a section. There's my guide. So this is my guide. That's going to be my point of entry right there. So that's my point of entry working from the opposite side to the opposite side. So I'm going to go here, my point of entry there. Now I'm working short to long. And remember, I think Jesse was saying it earlier, don't be so precise. That's why you're working with a razor, so you build the texture. Now watch the clip. I went from left to right. So now the next section I take, I'm going to go from right to left. Now watch me go get my guide. So I went short to long. So pinch right here at that bottom of that section. There's your guide. Just hold that so you can see right where you're at. Once you got that, there's my guide there. That's going to be my point of entry. So I slide out to that guide. There it is. And now I work from short to long that opposite way. Okay, so I'm just shifting my angles as I go through. Now, can you do this with a shear, Sam? Yes, I can. Watch. This section probably won't reach. It won't reach, so I let that down. So this one is done. And just start to tickle it, and you can just start to see you're maintaining your weight, but you're getting this texture on top. So let's slide that one away. And now let's go. So you're going to work in one direction around. So let's go to this section. Look, I'm taking a slice right through this. All right. Razor, Chris Barron, Ruth Roach, Nick Arroyo, Rodney Cutley, and Gerard. Yes, Scarpacci. Gerard is awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Gerard is very awesome from Hairbrain. He's awesome with a razor. All right. So now watch. Let's place the clip down. Take my section. All right. Now I'm going to come through. Now you can certainly still hold it like a pencil, but you're going to reverse it the opposite way. When I hold it, I like to hold it with my ring finger inside that handle. All right, I'm working with the fine teeth of the comb. Now, where do I go here? So I got to look at my short piece. Where's my short piece? Okay, there it is. That's my short piece. I got an eyeball. So eyeball it, guys. Short to long. So now, Sam, I have a question for you. When the client comes in, would you do this again? When a client comes in, what I would recommend, and just as just a suggestion, as Andrew and Jesse have been saying, we want to give you the what, how, and why. Experiment. We're not here to say what is right and what's wrong. So what I would suggest, guys, is play with it and find out what's going to work with you. So you could certainly use a shear, but you may want a point cut and make sure you really soften those edges nicely. Let's go from right to left. Here's my short piece. See how I pull that short piece up? So this is my point of entry, but I'm going this direction. Look at the clip. The clip told me which direction to go. So Sam, why do you do that? Because you could get in conversations with a client and you lose which direction to go. So see, I pointed. So that's pointed that direction. That means I went short to long this direction. Any questions so far? Fine hair, Sam. Could you do this on fine hair? You could do this on fine hair, but I would only probably do the horseshoe area and that's it. I don't think I would do any other part of the area. So now I know I went short to long this direction. So the short piece is over here by the handle of the clip. So I know where I'm at once I'm there. And once again, guys, really just take your time, relax, and eyeball this. So Sam, do you cross-check this? Remember, when we texture is all visual and feel. That's what it is. It's all visual and feel. Let's see if I got any hair that reaches up. That's not going to reach up. Let it go. All right. So it's
Sammy, we got a question for you, bud.
Yes, Andrew. All right. There is always imbalance, Sonia. There is always imbalance on the left side cut. Why this imbalance in angle on the left side always? What is the mistake in me? Please sort out my confusion, I request. Thank you, Sonia. Sonia, when one side is uneven compared to the opposite side, what you're going to find is that's because of your body position. You have to be aware of where your body position is and where you're combing to. The comb can create a lot of mistakes. You can over-direct one side a little bit more than the opposite side. And maybe if you stand over here, you might pull this one straight up. Whereas on this one, you pull a little bit more too. So it's about where's your body position. Be aware of your body position, and that's going to help you in terms of balance from one side to the opposite side. I hope that helped you out. Okay, let's go through. Let's clip away what we've done. Now I'm in the left corner back. I take a horizontal slice. Okay, and I know that on this top section, I'm right-handed, so I go right to left. So pinch on the right side of that last section, or the first section. There's my guide. Always being able to see my guide. Now I come through. Once I see that, I'm going to go in and work short to long, make my fist to maintain that position and the tension. Okay, so once again, taking my clip, and we position it right to left. We come back through.
Sammy.
Please. All right. Should you stand in front of this section as you are doing? I find this easier. Watch. If I stand behind it like this, now I have problems getting my razor in doing this. So here's what I want you to do. Obviously, I'm in the salon, so I'm not going to climb over her and do this. I'm simply going to ask her to take her head and look at my buttons. Now, can you see her legs are right here in front of me here. Now I'm off to this side here cutting. So this thing we call the head, it swivels. So get them to swivel their head. Let me just say it this way, guys, and I mean this in a nice professional way, but I'm just going to say it. It's so important that you understand. Put yourself in a comfortable position before you place the client in a comfortable position. So, Sam, are you saying place the client in an uncomfortable position? Well, you're there every day. They're coming through there, and they're just visiting once a day. Once a day. We wish. They're there probably maybe every 4 to 6 weeks. You're there every day. So please, I know that's not going to reach. Please go through and make sure that we place them in an uncomfortable position. Why? They're only holding that for a minute, couple minutes, and then they're right back up. So yes, I really believe you have to understand that this thing we call the head, it swivels. So I hope that out. If you're learning something here, say yes. Remember, another way to go in and layer some hair. If you are right-handed, is every cut right to left? And look at my buttons. Yes. Okay, so look, watch. Client looks at my buttons. So because I'm right-handed, it's always going short to long this way. But then watch me reverse it to the pencil technique. Now I'm able to go short to long the opposite way. I hope that helps you out. Okay. All right. Now let's go to the left side. Notice I keep working my way around. Okay. I'm not working from one side, then jump to the other side, work to the center, work to the center. I find with this particular technique, it's a lot easier if we go through, and what we do is we go through and we wait. I'm so excited about this. I find that it's easier if you go through, guys, and you pre-section these things. That's what I want to say. Pre-section these things so you have a little bit more control in terms of what you're doing. That's important. Okay, another section. Okay, know where you're at. So I went short to long that direction. Look at the way the clip's pointed. Here we go. Now I'm going to go through. I'm going to grab where I'm at here. This is my short piece right here. I bring that up, and now I'm going to go short to long the opposite direction. I really believe, guys, it takes courage to do things in a different way. You know, as I said, this is not how I was trained. But I don't know about you, but I want to find as many ways as I can, effective ways to go in and create the layer and help save time behind the chair instead of going through, cutting everything very precise, and then, I would say, coming through and busting it up. Okay, that's where I'm at. So I'm going to come through on the opposite side. Okay, just give me a yes if you're doing well out there. If you guys are doing good, just give me a yes. All right, and just let me know that things are happening for you. All right, help. What would you purchase? What would you purchase? Invisible shears or reversible signature shears? Most of my guess, I just lost that one, Andy. I'll come back to it. Okay, can you do this cut on dry hair? Yes, you can. So remember, Andrew and Jesse and I have been talking about the idea of doing this, but you can certainly do this on dry hair. But I would work with a buffer. And what I mean by that is work with One United. That would be a product of choice that I would work with. Thank you for bringing that question up. But that's a buffer, a cutting lotion. Remember, I was taught never cut hair dry with a razor. But once again, you may want to do it just to kind of change that fabric. So you alter the fabric, change the texture of it, and get a little bit more response. All right, invisible shears or reversible signature shears. Well then, Kathy, my suggestion would be ask yourself, what are you doing mostly? If you're layering hair out a lot, then I would recommend the Invisible. If you find that you need a shear that's going to take out a lot of weight, then I would go with the Invisible. So ask yourself, what's your clientele? Is it mostly going through with is there a lot of density that and you're layering hair a lot? Then I would recommend the Invisible. If you're going through and you're taking weight out, then I would recommend the reversible blender. I like having both of those in my arsenal, but I certainly understand it's a matter of right now what you can afford. All right, now look at let me give you a profile. You can just start to see, keep turning, Sammy. There we go. You can just start to see what I'm getting in terms of that, in terms of the layering. Now, this looks great when they dry it naturally. But what I want you to see is because of the way I'm layering it, it's like a shag effect. It's sitting much more straight up and down. Now let's go to the two front areas. So I'm going to take you right here now. Okay, so now I've got these two front areas and I've got a middle part. So I'm going to do the same thing, working my way down that side area, bringing everything up and continuing to alter. So let's work to the opposite side. I'm a teacher and I'm curious how many times you suggest practicing a cut before teaching it. Great question, Annette, and thanks for being here. You are creating the rainbows of the future, and thank you for being a teacher. We need more of you. All right, so and do me a favor, what school are you at? Just put that up for us, because a lot of our schools that carry our tools, they happen to be watching. All right, yes, I definitely recommend, guys, practice, practice, practice. As a matter of fact, I cut this cut once already today so that I could just walk through it and I could talk about it in terms of what am I going to say as I'm practicing. So yes, I practice all the time in terms of what it is that I'm going to teach. I highly recommend that you do it at least, if you feel comfortable doing it once and you got it, then great. If you feel you need to walk through it again, then walk through it again, but maybe take the cut a little bit shorter. Okay, I hope that helps you out, my dear. And once again, thank you for being with us and thanks for being a teacher. There's my degree of shortness. I go short to long. Okay, now that's my section. So I went short to long, so I placed that there. So Sam, you're taking this whole front area and I'm taking horizontal sections. So if I'm standing right here and I look at that section, that's a horizontal section. Now I lift up. So I know that I was right-handed. I went short to long this way. So let's just pinch a length. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to go here. Now this haircut, I really believe is a great, there's my little guide. I think this haircut's a great haircut for someone that has maybe, let's set up the texture. 1 being straight and 10 being kinky curly. Anywhere from maybe a 5 to a 3, a 2. This is great for that because it's just going to enhance the body, especially if they go through and they like to come through and they go in and let their hair dry naturally. I think it's great for that. All right, continue through. So Sam, you're even working into the fringe area in this front. Yeah, you're going to see that this is immediately going to give me a nice kind of fringe to it in terms of how it works. All right, so here, short to long. There's my short piece. See how I always look at that mark, that clip? That tells me where I've been. There's my short piece on that opposite side, visualizing that, and now coming through and maintaining that same angle. Look how I just really let my wrist roll. Let the weight of the blade do the work for you. That's what I want you to do. Let the weight of the blade do the work for you. Don't go in and try to get aggressive with it and just start to cut it, and then I think you're going to get yourself in trouble that way. All right, let's bring it up. Okay, and let's just see. And I like taking this up, guys. Don't be concerned about, well, what's that? If I bring that up, Sam, what's that going to do to my perimeter edge? Well, what it's going to do, guys, is you're going to see, I'm going to show you my end result, okay? And you're going to see how it's just giving me this really nice, almost curtain French-like in terms of how it is. So watch this side now when I start to release this. Let's go, where am I at? Nope. Okay, let's go this way. My learning process, guys, has been learning to kind of go backwards in terms of my thinking. Okay, so now look at how I got that degree of shortness there around that face. So I'm going to show you my benchmark in terms of you can let this dry naturally, or you could go in and dry if you want. And I think you can just start to see how that changes silhouette. Yes, AC. Would you ever do this cut with a razor or on natural curly hair? Let's talk about that again. 1 is straight, 10 is kinky curly. I would definitely not do this on kinky curl. That's a 10. And on a 9, I wouldn't do it. On an 8, I wouldn't do it. A 7, I wouldn't do it. Now, a 6, a 5, a 4, I'd start consulting with the client and say, do you ever stretch dry your hair naturally? Yes, I do. So let me show it to you. So if she has like a 1 straight, 10 kinky curl, 5 in the middle of a nice little soft curl, okay, and she stretch dries it, this is the cut. So can you believe, look how that looks like it's cut with a shear, okay? And then look at the front that I get out of that. But then watch how I'm going to go through, and I'm able to just go through and look at how it just gets frothy on its own. Just look at that, on its own. Okay, so just taking a simple bob, guys, and just putting the layering into it with a razor, I think is just a great way to kind of change the visual texture of that bob as you go through. Now, here's another version of it, much shorter version of it that I simply cut a fringe into it. So it's the same thing. This was all cut in the nape with scissor. Then from the nape up, I started to shift my angles, elevating vertically. And you can see I took those sections up here, took them short as I worked through. So 2 versions of it. It's a matter of where you cut the length in terms of how it ends up. So do the pattern, but take it short if you want. Take it, leave it long. So Sam, could you do this on really long hair? Yes. I would go through, maybe section a saddle, as we talked about yesterday. Take that, shift a saddle, and watch how that just melts into the long existing length that they have. My last side over here, okay? All right, so weight out, reversible blender. Yes, that's right. Okay, hi, Austin. All right, here we go. All right, let's go again now. My last area that I'm cutting here, okay? So I take that section, watch where my body goes. It goes square. See, I'm square. Let me just turn her this way, and you can see that a little bit better. Okay? So my section, see that section? That's the section I took. Look at my shoulders. They're square with that. So I'm square with that. I lift this up. Where did I cut last? Right here. I pick that up. There's my degree of shortness. I can see that. Eyeball that where it goes. And now elevate and roll. Look at my wrist just roll. Now the razor is an emotional tool, something I picked up from Vivian McKinder. She talks about how it's an emotional tool, meaning that the tighter you grip this thing, the more you're just going to be taking out hair. So it's a really soft hand when you're working with a razor. The softer the hand, then it's going to do the work that it needs to do. The more grip that you have on that razor, you're going to be fighting to cut that hair. Okay, here we go. Here, highly recommend a class with Chris Barron, Ruth Roach, Gerard Scarpacci, or Nick Arrojo in terms of razor. Those guys are masters with razor. Okay, and I went short to long the opposite way. Watch the clip adjusts. I certainly hope that you guys have enjoyed what we tried to create for you today. I've got a huge announcement that I'm going to be making right after this. So I want everybody to just do me a favor. Start texting your friends. Tell them, get on. Sam Villa's got a huge announcement. Everybody needs to be on to hear what I'm going to say. It is going to touch your heart. It is going to help you. At Sam Villa, that's what we want to do. So I'm so excited. Guys, 8 o'clock, tell them, start getting it out. Get the message out there for everybody. Get on right now so they can hear what the message is and learn something. All right, next horizontal section. So Sam, yes, Andrew, yes.
I think we were so excited in the beginning of the class that we kind of forgot to tell them about the giveaway.
Thank you for bringing that up, Andrew. So let's talk about that, brother. All right, we're so excited, guys, that every segment we've been giving away something from Pivot Point, something from Redken, something from ABS. So we're really excited about that. In this particular segment, you're going to have an opportunity to win 3 things. Let's talk about that. You're going to have an opportunity to win Redken's really amazing, let me just turn this around, the Extreme Bleach Recovery System. And this is new from Redken. Let me just bring that up. So somebody's going to win this. And by the way, guys, I'm so excited about this because it has 2 of my favorites. It's got the hair cleansing cream. That's right. Redken's brought it back. And it has one of my favorite products now when I'm blow drying, working with thermal tools, my Extreme Play Safe. For anything that's 450 degrees and that heat damage, this is amazing. And then colorists, you're going to love the whole concept behind the Extreme Bleach Recovery System. So this is going to be one of the things you're going to win. And then somebody also, not only those 2 items, but they're going to have a chance to win a Sam Villa blow dryer. So 3 items. Now, how do you enter to win? All you have to do is right there on the directions on the banner, text contest to 888-812-1115. All right, let's continue into my last section here. Okay, lifting this up. My last section was this direction. I'm going to ignore that because that was my last section. So here we go. Just taking up my small piece, getting eyeball and going short to long. All right, now let's take a look at this. All right. So when I release this, guys, watch this. All right. When I release this, what's so cool, watch the silhouette that I'm going to get out of this in terms of this. And just look at the texture that I've been able to create out of this. That's what's so cool about this. Now, Sam, if you were talking about those curl patterns from one, hold on, my dear, hold on, you're not ready to go yet. All right. Remember we were talking about those curl patterns, one being straight, you know, and we talked about how the idea of 10 being kick your curl. So where would you put this, Sam? Where would you put this in terms of curl? I'd probably put this like about a 3. That's about a 3 when I'm looking at. 1 is dead straight, 2 has some movement. Look, this has a little bit more stronger movement to it. So now if I was to diffuse this, I would take a diffuser, and now watch my hands. This season, get into crinkling the hair. We're not going in necessarily scrunching or diffusing the hair. What I want to do is I want to change this concept of diffusing this season, and I want to look at my fingers. Look how they're placed in. So now what I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm just pushing an S pattern in between my fingers. Now imagine hit that with the diffuser. So what you're doing is you're encouraging more of a wave pattern. Now watch, when I just release that, can you see the wave pattern that I put in there? Basically with just doing that and maneuvering my hands. So this is a great tip. Let's give credit where credit's due to the great Hugo Urias. Hugo, we love you. Redken artist. Catch him at classes, all right? So we're here to there. And also, don't forget, at Sam Villa, we are willing to come to you. Just go to the website, check on education, and then you'll see Andrew, Jesse, and Anna can come into your salons, guys, for classes. So check that out. We can bring the artist studio right to you live. Look at CVS pattern I'm putting in that. That's cool, guys, in terms of that. So even if I'm going to let this dry naturally, start to work with your fingers a little bit differently when you go in. Let's just not go in and start to scrunch, but just start to place the curl pattern the way that you want it to do, that you want this hair to move. And you can just start to see how I'm getting that all the way through. So great haircut. Let's take a look now in terms of the end result. Okay, so once again, here's the end result. Okay, look at how I still have weight in my bob, how I still have that weight. You have some clients that say, well, I want the layers, but I want to have weight inside of that. Okay, now take a look at the opposite side. I haven't gone through and done anything to that. Look how smooth that looks. So you can get this really, so don't think that, guys, well, because I'm cutting with a razor, it's going to damage the hair. Remember, an emotional tool, I want you to be really, really selective in terms of how you're using that. So important, guys. Did you learn something here in terms of looking at that? Yes? Okay, so let's just recap. My sectioning. That's my sectioning, front to back, back to front. Then what I did is I went through and look at where I started. This is where I start. I'm right-handed, short to long, short to long, short to long. So you just shift that razor every angle, and yes, you can do it with a shear. Work yourself around these 4 panels in the back, and you've got 2 panels in the front. Very simple in terms of that. Andrew, any questions, buddy, in terms of that? Cool. Well, what I want to do, Andrew, is I want to thank our support, our sponsors. And these guys were, when we reached out to them and said, hey, guys, we want to do some giveaway, obviously they were in. Pivot Point number 1. Pivot Point, we love you. We cannot thank you enough for what you've done for us these 2 days and what you've done for hairdressers by just discounting your mannequins and your tripods. And I hope that you've been able to really send out a lot out there so that people are out there practicing. Now's the time to reset. Reset your skills, reset your voice, reset your personality, and reset that attitude, my friends. Practice, practice, practice. I want to thank my family, my other family, Redken. Redken, thank you for always being there. We appreciate you. We cannot thank you enough for the gifts. Redken, if you've never been to the Redken Exchange, get to the Redken Exchange. If you've never been to a Redken class, a Redken show, get to a Redken show. And that leads me up to ABS. I want to talk about America's Beauty Show. Get to a show, my friends. Get to a live event. This is awesome what we created this weekend, but this is not the only resource for learning. Get to a live event where Andrew and I can actually give you an elbow bump with our heart on our chest. We can actually share with you, these words in person. An opportunity for you to ask questions, an opportunity for you to network, and an opportunity for you to have fun, get away from your life, normal life, and get to a show. So we at Samvia want to see you at America's Beauty Show in 2021. And lastly, the PBA, Andrew. I mean, just the PBA. Thank you, Professional Beauty Association, for being there for the entire industry. All the resources that you have put together there for everybody to go to that needs assistance. We believe in you. And that's all about COVID-19 Relief Fund. Andrew, brother, you are such a leader. Everybody do me a favor. Give me hands up for Andrew. Andrew, without you, we would not have been able to do this, brother. I love you. You're a great leader. You're a great life coach. You're a great educator. And not only that, you now proved, hey, buddy, I can handle the platform on that computer. But I know that's not where you want to end up. What do you have to say, Andrew?
Well, thanks, man. It's been a pretty incredible weekend just to see everything that's happened, and this is the first time we've ever done something like this. So I have to say, looking back at this weekend and the couple little technical glitches and everything, I mean, we're using our home equipment, our home computers, our home Wi-Fi systems. I'm lucky I have the studio here, but other than that, we're just working from home on our computers, and I think we pulled off something super special this weekend.
Yes, we did, my friend. I hope everybody out there.
We have our winner for your segment.
Okay, who's the winner?
Well, her name is Sandy Christopher. She's from Seattle, and she has been with us on every class, both days. She wants to tell us that she loves the education and our amazing team. So what a better person to win some gear. You've been on with us the whole weekend. Congratulations.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, the mannequins. This is a mannequin that Andrew and I developed with Pivot Point. So this is a Pivot Point mannequin. I named it after my mom, and I have a lot of respect for them because of the SA 8000. Make sure you look for this tag. That's about all the worth ethics, and know that these people that are making this mannequin, they're treated properly. So thank you again, Pivot Point, and congratulations out there for watching us on that. Andrew, it hasn't only been about you and me, it's been about our team. What do you say we bring them on board, buddy?
Sounds good.
Go ahead.
I don't think he's on the right one. I'm trying to get Jesse on, and I don't think he's on the right thing.
No worries. Let's talk about just the COVID-19 relief fund. That is a fund, guys, that right now they're looking for donations. So 10% of our sales this weekend is going to that. And I have a huge announcement that I'm going to make tonight. So I still want you to get people on. Come on, get your friends on. Tell them, get on here and listen to what Sam has to say. And we'll be off in a few. But let's get people on. Come on, reach out to people. Get them on here. But the idea, once again, is let's help each other. But these people have really helped us out. Have they not, Andrew?
Yes, absolutely. And the thing is, you know, we've kind of told this story, but we started this whole project as sort of just like, oh, this will be fun. Like, we'll jump on Facebook, do some live education for people while we're hanging out. But man, as soon as the word got out, just people were knocking on the doors like, hey, what can we do to support you? And I just think it's so cool that right now, of course, it's a terrible situation, but I think it's really brought out a lot of the best in so much of our industry.
Yes, it has, hasn't it? Sorry, Andrew.
Got, man.
Yes,
yes. I was just texting you guys. I'm here.
So let's hear from you guys. How you doing there, guys?
Great.
We're doing good. I got my old-fashioned ready.
Fine. She's already on.
I'm still trying to finish my water from earlier.
So, Andrew, talk about Jesse and Anna while I fix this up here, okay?
Yeah. So, you know, Jesse and Anna, the thing is that both of them, let me start with it this way. People ask all the time, how do I become a member of the Samvia team? So I think they both can tell you it is a long road. A long and painful road.
Yes.
But, you know, both of these guys, they were there in the beginning before they even had a job. They were showing up to things, volunteering time, dedicating themselves to be behind the scenes and help out. But more than anything, they just established themselves as people that we needed to have as part of our team. And they did that because of their knowledge, because of who they were as people. And they just kept expressing to us, hey, I want to be part of the family. I want to be part of the family. And so we eventually had space, but it took time, right, guys? I mean, for both of you, Anna, I think it took a couple of, like 3 or 4 years, maybe even longer, until we were able to say, okay, guys, like, yeah, it's time. We can actually have you on the team. And I think kind of the same for you, Jesse.
Well, yeah, definitely. It was about, it wasn't that you didn't want us to come join the team. It was, I remember the conversations that you and I had was just about making sure that there was enough work to be able to use us. So, yeah, we came on board when we could, and we've been doing whatever we can, joyfully, of course, because it's where we wanted to be.
Yeah, how long was it for you, Anna?
Yeah, a few years. And people ask all the time, you know, how can I start teaching and doing what you're doing on the road? And my advice always is to just keep plugging along at it and make sure that the people you want to work for know that you want to work for them, and offer your time, your experience, and be willing to work for free in the beginning to get your foot in the door, because nobody is going to want to pay for you if they're not sure of your work and the quality of that. So be willing to prove yourself and work and show up and be there, you know, whenever they need you. So for me, that's what I did in the beginning, and it definitely paid off. So happy to be here.
Anna, Jesse, I just want to personally thank you both for an awesome, awesome weekend. I know that it involved a lot of prep, but know that your time and your intent and your purpose in regards to education is so much appreciated. You both have earned a right to be on this team. We are fortunate to have you both on this team. So together, everyone achieves more. That's what we feel a team is about at Samvia. So Anna and Jesse, on behalf of myself and Andrew, we love you. and cannot thank you enough. And you both have gained so many fans this weekend.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, thank you, guys.
Coming up right now, an announcement. Andrew, thank you, brother. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you, everyone.
Here we go, guys. I've got something I want to share with you. It's very special to me what I'm about to talk about. You know, when I think about what we're going through with this crisis, everybody asks me, Sam, how did you come up with this idea? What'd you guys, you know, we just thought when the ABS show was canceled, we wanted to support ABS and still kind of cover that weekend, if you will, for them. And like I said, live education is valuable. Make sure you go to America's Beauty Show. And we thank you because they've been giving us a prize, and the prize was a membership to the Chicago Cosmetologist Association, so that you actually receive a free membership, which gets you into the America's Beauty Show as a VIP. So, you know, the learning doesn't stop here. The learning continues. The support doesn't stop here. It continues. The idea of us gathering together and sharing like this, we want this to continue. So when I think about this, I really think that we need to focus, my friends, on turning this pain into gain and know that now is the opportunity. You know, we want the success of our future. We want the success. It's found in our daily routines today. So your success is going to be set on what are you doing today to set you up as we come over this wall that's in between us, COVID. So, you know, it's going to be in the routine of your day. So thanks for joining us these 2 days. You know, a beautiful day begins with a beautiful mindset. So let's overprotect and not overact. So important. So it's time for us to let's come together and let's stabilize this industry to promote a community of inspiration, a community of support, a community of evolution, and together, let's move the industry forward in a healthy, sustainable way. So that said, at Samvia, I woke up one morning, I said, you know what? 10% of our sales just isn't enough to help all of those people out there that need help. So I thought, you know, I grew up watching Jerry Lewis, the telethon. My mother and father, they loved it. So every Memorial weekend, we were up watching that. And I thought, why can't we create a social fund? So my friends, I would like to announce, with the support of the Professional Beauty Association, I went to them and said, I got this idea. Would you guys like to get in? Because I want to raise more money for COVID Relief 19. They said, Sam, great idea. So guess what? Andrew, let them have it, buddy. We are going to be having a social fund. And I want you to take a look at this. It's amazing when I reached out to my icons, my mentors, my friends, and I told them what I wanted to do, what we wanted to do, and they were like, wouldn't even let me finish. They were like, yes. So mark your calendar. On Sunday, May 17th, we will gather with our friends for a social fund. All of the money is going to COVID-19 Relief Fund. So Sam, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that is that it will be required for you to register to see this. I'll explain to you what's going to happen to see this. And all we're asking is for a minimum donation. You get that minimum donation, boom, you're in and you'll be able to see this. Maddie Conrad, Larissa Love, Anthony Moscolo, Tabitha Coffey, Ruth Roach, Matt Sweeney, Chelsea Von Hoffman, a great mentor, Robert Lobetta, Sonia Dove, Marco Arena from Germany, Vivian McKender, Gerard Scarpacci, Candy Shaw, Ludovic Beckers from Belgium, Chris Barron, the awesome Chris Barron, Mark Bustos, the incredible Mark Bustos, and Ammon Carver and Christopher Benson, and there's more to come. Give me a yes, give me a hands up, give me something and show some love if you guys are excited about this, because I can't tell you how excited we are. So mark your calendar. It's going to be like a telethon. It's a social thon. It's going to be all day long. And I'm really excited about it. So God bless. Take care of yourselves, my friends. And I'm not sure, Lisa, I want you to see my son, Mateo. Lisa! But I want you to see my son, Mateo. He wanted to come out and say hi. And I told him when we were done that he would come out. So yes, everybody's like, yes, yes, yes. Lisa! So yes, so everybody, yes, look at this. Everybody's like, hell yeah, yes, that's right, buddy. We're gonna raise more money for you, and we're excited as hell about it. Lisa, I'm sorry, guys, I'm yelling, but Mateo, I just don't want to disappoint him. I want to be in the movie. I want to be in the movie. So I'm waiting for him to come this way. If somebody on the team could text her, tell her, come on in. So yes, look at this, guys. Everybody's excited. Remember, mark your calendar for May 7th. Come on in, buddy. Come in. Come into Dada. Come on over here and say hi to everybody. Here he comes. All right, Mateo, come to Papa. Yeah, big boy. Yeah, here's Mateo. Everybody say hi to Mateo. Say hi, Mateo.
Hi.
Hey, give him a round of applause, Mateo, for them joining us. Give him a round of applause. Give him a clap, buddy. Give him a clap. Yeah, give him a high five and a clap. We thank you guys so much for joining us these 2 weekends. My lovely wife, Lisa, come on. Come here, sweetheart. Come here. You know, you can't do it without these people. These are the people that really give me the opportunity and the time to do what I do, and that's to bring the information that we do. So my family supports what I do. We love you guys, and this is what it's about. It's about working together with your family and working together with your team. So God bless you, and thank you so much. My family to yours. Stay safe and stay healthy. Wave goodbye, Mateo.
Bye.
Bye. We love you guys.
Bye,
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, everyone. We love you. Take care. God bless.